I'm Tory Martindale. I'm the executive chef at the Four Seasons Resort in Whistler, British Columbia, and we're going to make a beautiful seasonal dish with fresh sockeye salmon, herbs from the Urban Cultivator, some pasta and some chanterelles, and we're going to tie it all up with a beautiful herb salad. We're going to do a beautiful herb-filled pasta, and we made this pasta nice and yellow with lots of egg yolks, so it's bright. And you slowly decrease the thinness of the pasta until you can see your hand through the pasta. And what we're going to do, it's a nice little trick to do for show, is we're going to layer inside the pasta with the herbs so that when we have a finished product, we're going to have beautiful shapes of the basil coming through the pasta. If you have a pasta machine at home, it's generally the perfect thickness is to take it down to about the number 1 on the thickness level. It's pretty generic with pasta rollers. The numbers on the thickness are all the same. So 1 is the perfect thickness for this. So we're going to go over to our basil. We're going to cut off a bit of basil. And we're going to take the leaves of the basil and we're going to layer it inside the pasta. And this creates a really fun effect when you roll the pasta out again. And you can do this with basil, you can do it with tarragon. Tarragon makes nice, beautiful long lines. Sage, if you're doing a dish in the winter time or in the fall with chicken or wild bird or quail. It's nice to do it actually with greens that are grown fresh out of the cultivator because they're a little bit more resilient and they've got a lot of fresh herb flavor. I'm just going to seal the herbs up in there. Make sure the air is out. We're going to increase our pasta roller just a little bit to accommodate. You can see you get the beautiful shape of the basil leaves inside the pasta. We're going to do the same thing like we just did. Take it down to 1 again. And you can see once the leaves get stretched out, it becomes much more dramatic. Awesome. I got some hot water with salt in it behind me boiling away so that we can cook it up. It's very important as well to make sure that you salt your water when you're doing pasta, otherwise it tastes rather bland. Just give the pasta a little bit of a toss, and as you can see, you've got beautiful herb pasta ready to be cooked. Okay, so we've got this beautiful sockeye salmon. Sockeye are in season right now, in August. And we're just gonna put a little salt, fresh cracked pepper. We've got our oil nice and hot. We're gonna sear the face side down first. Get a really nice color on the salmon. And once we get some really nice color on the salmon, we're going to flip it over and we're going to crisp up the skin. Very important. Salmon is such a beautiful fatty fish. You don't want to overcook it. You want to keep it a nice medium rare so it has a lot of moisture inside of it. Especially with sockeye. Sockeye has such a beautiful color. With a fish this thin, you generally don't have to cook it in the oven at all. You can pretty much brown it off, flip it over, and it's so thin that it'll finish right in the pan. It'll only take a few minutes to cook. So then we sear off the skin, make it nice and crispy. A good extra virgin olive oil will make that fish, the color of the fish stand out even more, and the flavor will be just phenomenal. All right, we're gonna pull that to the side, because that alone, just sitting there for that short amount of time, That skin's gonna get beautiful and crispy, and the fish will be cooked just perfect. So our salted water is boiling. It's gonna be very quick to finish this because the fresh pasta cooks so quickly. We're gonna get a little bit of chanterelles. It's very important with wild mushrooms that you cook them thoroughly. Chanterelles, if you don't cook them enough, they can give you a little bit of indigestion. So it's always nice to make sure that you give them a really good saute. We're gonna finish it with a little bit of garlic and shallots. These chanterelles actually are harvested in the lower part of British Columbia. This is the season for them right now in Washington and lower British Columbia. All right, so we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit. We're gonna grab our fresh pasta. Again, the fresh pasta cooks really quickly. We're gonna finish this with our shallots. I shaved some fresh garlic. We'll put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and we're gonna finish it with some whole butter. And that's gonna become the sauce for our pasta. And again, fresh pasta generally only takes about 30 seconds to cook. It's so quick. We're gonna grab a little bit of fresh basil just to toss in our pasta last second. And it's gonna wilt right into our pasta. That's awesome. Oh, look at that. Beautiful fresh pasta, fresh herbs, fresh chanterelle mushrooms. All right. We'll make a nice little nest with all of our fresh mushrooms we just sauteed in there. This beautiful sockeye salmon. It's a nice medium rare, really sexy, crispy skin. All right, the final thing to put together this dish to make it just pop, we've got fresh herbs from the Urban Cultivator. I got a great selection here. We got a little bit of mizuna. We've got purple kale. We got some arugula. And we've got some, oh, I love these. These are great. These are the sunflower shoots. These have a great texture. I'm going to take a few of each of them, making sure there's no seeds from the top. Sunflower shoots are notorious for keeping the seeds attached on the top of them. A little bit of fresh arugula. Purple kale, it's got some great color, so it'll give it a nice kick. A little bit of fresh basil. And it's so colorful. Extra virgin olive oil, little sea salt, and a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon. And that's all it is. It's a really light, summery dish. Add a little bit of chopped shallots just to give it a little bit of texture. And we just made a beautiful sockeye salmon with fresh basil pasta and chanterelle mushrooms and a microgreen salad from our Urban Cultivator.